welcome back to the studio. And with that match, we see WeHurt put down into the losers bracket, where they will fight for survival tomorrow. The train is not derailed. It just took the scenic route.
You know how sometimes train tracks have those things where you flip a switch and it switches them over? Yeah. Hydra just kind of ran up, flipped the switch, and sent them in the wrong direction for a bit.
Yeah, they're gonna take the tour. They're gonna enjoy the view, and that's the video. That's
not gonna go well.
No. That was
well,
a whole series of train disasters. Wow.
I hope these were all not real train disasters. I hope these were staged and no one was harmed in the crashing of these trains.
They were all staged.
Okay, that's very good. That's what I like to hear.
But
I'm gonna have nightmares about trains slamming into each other now.
Oh, that's not good.
So I think those examples show that while WeHurt might have been a old-timey steam train, I think Warlords of the Deep is like a heavily armored zombie apocalypse Japanese bullet train. Actually, that's awesome. Why are there no zombie movies about that? Like an armored train.
Those require power on the tracks, though, don't they? Too.
We do have the
you
stats
need the
ready,
infrastructure to be set up in your society still.
Let's get the stats up. Let's talk a little bit about this match. We are banning out the curse, bringing exactly the same setup, only to be faced by Sabres. Sabres, of course, really a hard ship to deal with for their setup there.
Yeah, I mean, Sabres are actually generally pretty easy to kill, but they just do so much damage. So as soon as we saw these frigates start to die for the WeHurt team, you knew that it was going to be over. It was basically the race. Which would die first, the Sabre or the Harpy? The Harpy went down first, and that's half the damage they can apply very easily.
Another one of the problems is with those two carries and just the generic damage type of cruise missiles, those Fleet Typhoons were not really able to put tons of damage. The damage that would be needed to break through the reps for the Warlords of the Deep team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you're not only just breaking a Sabre, you're breaking a Sabre through Scimitar reps with ships where you don't apply all of your damage. So,
yeah, the use of the carries in this extremely powerful. This obviously shows Warlords had two setups that look kind of similar in their first three ships. They've got the double Claymore and then the Scimitar, but are completely different in the way that they're piloted. You saw them actually act very differently with the two setups. You saw them use them very differently, and they get the same result, a complete sweep victory in both cases.
Yeah, and I mean, so this is what I was saying with the double Logi frigate that has been kind of popular. It just doesn't have the same kind of draw as so the logistics pilot for Warlords of the Deep. He's that good that he hasn't been caught yet, as far as I know, in the tournament. Apart from that one match versus thingy,
they've been tackled a couple of times.
Yeah, but I mean, he hasn't died. He's just going he's just baiting opponents everywhere, and then teams go, "Wow, we can't get the Scimitar, we can't get the Oneros or whatever. Let's go and hit another ship and try and break those reps," and then they spend a lot of time trying to break those reps and they can't, and it just forces people to focus a target, either focus a target that they can't get to, or focus another target that they can't break, because it's
so I think that
this is something that you don't get with double Logi frigates.
There's one stage of good logistics piloting, and that's I'm completely safe. I can rep my whole team. I'm fast on my reps. I don't get tricked out by damps. That's Tier 1, good logistics pilot. The next level logistics pilot is I almost always get caught, but I never die. I never die. I always look like I can maybe be caught. Somebody tries to come out and reach for it. Somebody tries to put damage on me. Can't do that. Yeah, it's just the tempting is.
It's a whole nother level of multitasking required for that as well. Because it's one thing, even just repping a team under this kind of circumstances, when you're not even under fire yourself, is a lot of multitasking. You have to be managing your range, managing your cap, managing your reps, switching them amongst the different targets if they switch targets, but then having to handle keeping yourself alive all at the same time. It's really difficult. And Logi pilots in general are some of the best pilots in EVE. And a Logi pilot in the tournament, especially ones that are really dedicated and trained well, are some of the best pilots in the game for sure.
These pilots train so much they get to the point where all the cap management, all the actual repping, the things that you consistently think a Logi pilot has to do, are all muscle memory at that point. There's no real thought going into the process. It's just I do this, that's all background brain information, and they're all focused on their piloting, tempting people out, playing in the right spot, forcing teams to rotate the right way. really trying to control the battlefield with the temptingness that it is a logistics kill.
And I mean, when you look at Warlords, the Warlords team, where the Hydra team fly, you see them, they kind of screen for their Logi if they have a comp where they're kind of on the back foot and expect to be rushed. And when they're the ones that are on the offensive, they always do this kind of posturing, circling around, finding the weak spot, and always take kind of the outside edge in the arena, circle in the enemy team, and then pounce for the kill. And this is something that I don't see from a lot of other teams, but it appears to be extremely, extremely effective from them. They screen so effectively for the logistics, and they pounce at such precise moments that it's almost like scary precision.
Yeah, the movement around the field that's basically become the Hydra trademark in these kind of matches. It's something that's very powerful, but it's also very difficult. The teams need to, all the players in your team need to be able to work as one unit. What's a lot easier, kind of more natural to most EVE pilots, is you're mostly worried about your own positioning. You're like you are handling your range to the opponents. You're trying to spread out. That's kind of something that is more similar to what you see in some other like normal PvP. But then being able to actually move as one unit and move as if you're basically one fluid ship that's moving around the field is very, very difficult.
Especially when you all have different base max speeds, you all have different agility and turning. You have to be willing to like dictate your it's the only time you ever go down to your bottom like I'll go 70% of my maximum speed. That's that's one of the few times anyone ever does that in EVE Online, unless you're like really baiting someone while you're cutting them.
Yeah, it's definitely requires a lot of teamwork and practice.
They just do it so well, and just watching them fly is an absolute pleasure. That's just...
All I'm saying is CCP, Rise, and I have been on the Warlords of the Deep hype train the whole time. The train is just so large that it's impossible to perceive the train. We're actually on it right now.
Yeah, it's just the entire studio is sitting in a car somewhere, right? Well,
we're rocketing down into Warlords of the Deep country.
With like armor and barbed wire and zombie killing guns all over the place.
Like axes mounted on like a spinning, like a helicopter blade. So it spins the axis and just cuts down.
Doesn't have a cow catcher, it just has a cow slaughterer on the front.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Zombie cows.
So I just wanted to take this chance to remind people to tweet, have hashtag NEO2 somewhere in the tweet, and send us your favorite match of the tournament. Go to YouTube's, the EVE Online channel on YouTube and find your favorite match there, and then tweet it with a NEO2 hashtag, and we will draw a random person from those tweets and hand them a collector's edition. I'm now going to read a few of them, a few of the recent tweets on the NEO2 hashtag. Rawl tweets, "We heard will rise from the deep, can't stop the hype train."
Gotta love a good pun.
Yes, which is that is a good pun. Roy Watkinson tweets, "Discipline, teamwork, and competence is the key to winning." And I think nobody's going to argue with you there.
I think Garmin might argue that incompetence is the key to winning.
So Morwen Lagan tweets, "Derailed, hashtag NEO2, hashtag we hurt." EveBet tweets, "No."
Apparently EveBet was on the train.
Yes, they indeed were. And they, so Brent, at Apathetic Brent tweets, "Rest in peace, hashtag we hurt hype train." What he doesn't realize is it's only gone down to the loser bracket.
Yeah.
It's only switched rails.
Brent,
so
of course,
a member of the Warlords.
A member of the Warlords team, and always really great at knowing when his team has it in the bag.
Yeah.
Not to throw it away. He's never been surprised by his team tripping over their own 2 feet and losing at the last minute.
He's also never boundary violated or done any mistakes.
Yeah, he's never done anything
he
silly.
Hasn't boundary violated in a Hugin. So
he also, like many of the WeTurd team, has a famous streaming history.
Yes, he's actually quite entertaining streamer, and
I've seen a lot of entertaining things on his stream.
He is a good friend with a bunch of the WeHeard guys. He's been on their streams a couple of times, roamed with them, so this is all friendly banter.
Do you know why Warlords of the Deep actually isn't streaming their matches?
Why?
Because Brent would put up their forums.
That, and many people don't know this, but Warlords of the Deep only communicate on their comms through screaming. Not even screaming words, just tones. That's the only way they can express information to each other fast enough. So for the untrained ear, it actually just ruptures your eardrums immediately.
Yes.
You actually have seen many people have seen in the commercial the very first time they tried out that technique.
Yeah, worked very well.
They won that match.
Yeah, practice match versus footwork actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Dominant performance, and that's when they realized the power of
They're screaming.
screaming.
Yes. So
It keeps you focused on the match if you're just yelling as loud as you can.
let's look at the bans for this next match between Cold Blast Inside and Thingy. Basilisk Scimitar, Ishtar Dominix. Exactly
Identical
the
bans,
same
yes.
bans. So I wonder, is Cold Blast going to bring the same?
No.
Well, you never know. It is Kobas.
Yeah. We lost with it before, but we'll win with it now.
I mean, they can change small stuff in their comps.
Oh, hold on. I need to put on the old Glassaroonies.
We'll have to
Yes.
see. Yeah, this is definitely an interesting setup. It's not. We're not seeing exactly the same
Aw.
stuff.
All right, let's
Yes,
not spoil this for all the betting sites.
Okay.
This is potentially our last match of today. If Thingy wins this, then both of those best out of threes only went to 2 games, and we're gonna be seeing Warlords of the Deep make it to the finals, and Thingy making it to the losers bracket finals, where they're gonna face off against We Hurt.
That would be if Thingy wins.
If Thingy wins.
Yeah.
So, if you want to bet on these matches or any of the other matches tomorrow, then eve-bet.com actually has a really, really fun service and a lot of people have been utilizing that so far. Also, goinbet.com offers free esports betting. So, GoInbet is free, and EveBet is if you want to bet your ISK
Yeah,
in-game.
all of these websites, of course, run by our amazing player community,
Yeah.
using their own ingenuity to create great services around the tournament. Another great third-party website to check out for all of our tournaments is null-sec.com. They have a great bracket, very similar to the bracket on our community website, but what they've also got is a great viewer of matches. So you can actually do a 3D match view similar to what we have on our iPads here that we haven't shown you yet, but we probably will later, at least tomorrow. And you can actually replay the matches and see how they went right there.
Yeah, I mean, null-sac.com, such a huge, valuable resource, even for us. We use that a lot of the times. Just go like, hey, how did that match go? What was the setup? So just go to null-sac.com.
I've had to use it ever since I smashed my iPad last week. So it's been an excellent replacement for our normal app.
Yep, and the match is ready. Ba-da-da-ba-ba. Predictions.
I think Thingy's going to take this.
I'm going to go with Thingy so that we don't have to sit around for an hour waiting for the third match.
You know what? I'm going to go with Thingy as well. Let's see if the commentator curse is real or if this will, in fact, be the last match of the day.